Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today we're diving into some of the most mind-boggling borders on the planet. So buckle up, because we're about to explore the fascinating, confusing, and sometimes hilarious world of international borders. First stop, Baarle-Hertog and Baarle-Nassau, where Belgium and the Netherlands play a really intricate game of territorial Tetris. Imagine walking down the street, popping into a store for some milk, and bam! You've crossed an international border without even realizing it. That's everyday life in Baarle, a town peppered with little enclaves, bits of Belgium tucked inside the Netherlands, and vice versa. Seriously, we're talking houses split right down the middle, with the kitchen in one country and the living room in another. The border runs right through shops, restaurants, even a house that's famously divided. One side Dutch, the other Belgian. It's a tangled historical web, but the result is a place where nationality shifts with every step you take. Next up, we're traveling to the chilly Bering Strait, where two superpowers stare each other down across a narrow stretch of water. Here, just 2.4 miles apart, lie Big Diomede, Russia, and Little Diomede, United States. But here's where it gets really wild. The international dateline slices right through that narrow strait, meaning Big Diomede is almost a full day ahead of Little Diomede. So, you could literally look across the water and see tomorrow. The indigenous Yupik people once freely moved between these islands, but the Cold War drew a stark line in the icy water. Today, it's a poignant reminder of how close yet far apart we can be. Let's hopscotch back down to North America, where the border between the US and Canada gets a little, shall we say, porous. We're talking about Darby Line, Vermont, and Stansted, Quebec. In Darby Line and Stansted, the border cuts right through the heart of the community. We're talking a line of flower pots marking the international boundary running straight through a library. That's right, the Haskell Free Library and Opera House literally straddles the border. You can borrow a book in the US and return it in Canada, all without leaving the building. It's a reminder that while lines on a map might divide us, human connection always finds a way. Ready for a geography lesson that will leave your head spinning? Buckle up, because we're heading to the border of India and Bangladesh, where things get seriously complex. Imagine a map that looks like a child splattered different coloured paints all over it. That's the India-Bangladesh border, riddled with enclaves and exclaves, little pockets of land belonging to one country, completely surrounded by the other. We're talking over 100 enclaves, some nested within other enclaves, creating a geographical labyrinth. Thankfully, in 2015, India and Bangladesh finally agreed to a land swap, simplifying the border and making life a bit easier for the people living in this geopolitical jigsaw puzzle. It's a powerful example of how even the most tangled borders can be untangled through diplomacy and cooperation. From the intricate to the starkly simple, our next border is a study in contrasts. We're heading north to Scandinavia, where Norway and Sweden share a border that's surprisingly, well, straight. Forget fences or walls, this border is defined by a clear-cut line through dense forests. It's so precise, you can practically see where one country ends and the other begins just by looking at the trees. This line, stretching for over 1,000 miles, is maintained by forestry workers who ensure the trees on each side are carefully managed. It's a testament to the long-standing peace and cooperation between these two Scandinavian nations. Hold on to your hats, folks, because we're about to take a thrilling ride across a border unlike any other. This time, we're soaring over the picturesque landscape between Spain and Portugal on a zip line. Yep, you heard that right. Connecting the Spanish town of Sanlúcar de Guadiana to Alcutim in Portugal is a zip line that quite literally takes you across an international border. Imagine the wind in your hair, the stunning views below, and the exhilarating feeling of crossing from one country to another in less than a minute. It's not your average border crossing, that's for sure. But this unique zip line isn't just a tourist attraction, it's a symbol of the close ties between these two Iberian neighbours. So, if you're looking for an unforgettable way to experience a border crossing, ditch the passport control and hop on this adrenaline-pumping ride. Ever dreamed of starting your own country? Well, there might be a piece of land out there for you. Deep in the Sahara Desert, sandwiched between Egypt and Sudan, lies Bir Tawil, a desolate, diamond-shaped sliver of land that no one seems to want. Bir Tawil's story is a case study in the complexities of international borders and the strange things that happen when lines are drawn on a map. Both Egypt and Sudan have claims to a much more appealing piece of land nearby, the Halaib Triangle. But to claim Halaib, they have to relinquish their claim to Bir Tawil because of, well, complicated historical treaties. So, here we have a piece of land, roughly the size of Delaware, that's been left in diplomatic limbo. Our journey takes us now to one of the most heavily guarded and tense borders on Earth, the Korean Demilitarized Zone, or DMZ, separating North and South Korea. Established after the Korean War, the DMZ is a 2.5-mile wide buffer zone stretching across the entire peninsula. Within this no man's land, nature has flourished. With little human interference, the DMZ has become an accidental wildlife sanctuary, home to endangered species that have vanished from other parts of the peninsula. Guard posts stand watch along the border, fences cut through the landscape, and the joint military area at Panmunjom serves as the only point of contact between the two Koreas. The DMZ is a place of contradictions, where tension and tranquility coexist, where nature reclaims what conflict has left behind. From a border defined by tension to one defined by tranquility, our next stop takes us to the stunning Alps, where Italy and Switzerland get cozy in a rather unusual way. Imagine a lake, its crystal clear waters reflecting the towering peaks above. Now, imagine a border running right through the middle of it. That's Lake Lugano, a picturesque body of water shared by Italy and Switzerland. The border isn't just a line on a map, it actually zigzags across the lake, creating little pockets of Italian water surrounded by Switzerland and vice versa. It's a delightful example of how borders can be, well, fluid, and how two countries can share not just a lake, but a sense of peaceful coexistence. Our final destination takes us to the heart of Africa, to a place where maps get really close to having a four-way intersection. We're talking about the four corners of Africa, where the borders of Botswana, Zambia, Zimbabwe, and Namibia converge. Now, contrary to popular belief, these four countries don't actually share a single point. There's a tiny sliver of land belonging to Zambia that prevents a true four-way meeting. This spot, where the Zambezi and Chobe rivers meet, is a geographical marvel. It's a place of incredible biodiversity, where elephants roam freely, hippos wallow in the rivers, and birdsong fills the air. Well, there you have it. A whirlwind tour of some of the most bizarre and fascinating borders our planet has to offer. If you enjoyed this geographical adventure, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more mind-blowing content.